If you're waking up in the middle of the night or lying in bed for hours unable to fall asleep, there's a high chance you're doing something every evening that's quietly destroying your sleep. And the worst part? You probably think it's helping you relax. This one habit feels harmless. Millions of people do it every single night, and most never realize it's the exact reason they wake up tired, foggy, and frustrated the next morning. It doesn't just delay your sleep. It can interfere with your body's natural sleep signals, keep your brain more alert than it should be, and make deep, restorative rest much harder to reach. And here's the scary part. You could be doing it right before bed, thinking you're winding down, when you're actually pushing sleep further away. In this video, I'll show you exactly what this habit is, why it has such a powerful effect on your sleep, and what to do instead tonight for a calmer, more restful night. And make sure you stay until the end, because one simple shift in your evening routine can change how you sleep starting almost immediately. Here's what makes this problem so misunderstood. Your sleep isn't controlled by willpower. It's controlled by biology. Deep inside your brain, there's a small region called the suprachiasmatic nucleus. It acts as your internal clock, regulating your circadian rhythm, your natural 24-hour sleep-wake cycle. Every evening, as light levels drop, your brain begins releasing a hormone called melatonin. This is the signal that tells your body it's time to wind down, slow your systems, and prepare for sleep. But this process is extremely sensitive. Even small disruptions in your evening routine can delay melatonin release, sometimes by hours. When that happens, you may notice your body feels tired, but your mind stays alert. You lie in bed longer before falling asleep. Your sleep becomes lighter and more fragmented. You wake up feeling unrefreshed, even after enough time in bed. Research in sleep science shows that when melatonin timing is delayed, it doesn't just affect when you fall asleep. It can also reduce the quality of deep and restorative sleep cycles. And here's the key point. The habit we're about to discuss directly interferes with this melatonin signal, right at the time your body needs it most. This isn't just theory. It's something sleep researchers and health professionals have been studying for years. Multiple studies in sleep science have shown that evening behaviors can significantly influence melatonin production and overall sleep quality. Even small changes in light exposure, stimulation, or routine timing can shift your internal clock more than most people expect. Sleep specialists often emphasize that improving sleep isn't only about what you do at bedtime. It's about what you do in the hour or two before bed. In fact, many evidence-based sleep programs focus heavily on evening habits because that's where some of the biggest improvements happen. So what we're about to cover isn't complicated, but it is powerful when applied consistently. So what exactly is this habit that's interfering with your sleep? It's something most people do automatically, often right before bed, and rarely question. In fact, you might have already done it tonight. In a moment, I'll break down exactly what it is and why it has such a strong effect on your brain and sleep cycle. But more importantly, I'll show you a simple way to replace it, without making your evenings feel restrictive or uncomfortable. Because once you understand what's happening inside your body, the fix becomes much easier than you think. So, what is the number one evening habit that may be quietly disrupting your sleep? Using screens right before bed. Your phone, your TV, your tablet. It seems harmless. In fact, for many people, it's part of the nightly routine. You finish dinner, sit down, pick up your phone just for a few minutes, and before you realize it, 30 minutes, sometimes an hour has passed. Let me paint a familiar picture. You're in bed. The lights are off. The room is quiet, but your face is lit up by your phone. You scroll a little more, watch one more video, reply one last message. Then you finally put the phone down, close your eyes, and expect sleep to come. But it doesn't. Your body is tired, but your mind feels strangely awake. And here's why. What's happening inside your brain? When your eyes are exposed to screen light at night, especially blue light, your brain interprets it as daylight. Not maybe daylight, actual daytime. So instead of preparing for sleep, your brain delays the release of melatonin, the hormone responsible for making you feel sleepy. This isn't just a small delay. Even moderate exposure to blue light in the evening has been shown to push your sleep cycle later, making it harder to fall asleep naturally. So you end up in that frustrating state. You feel tired. but your brain isn't ready to shut down. Why it feels relaxing, but isn't. This is where most people get misled. Because using your phone or watching TV feels like rest. You're not working. You're not moving. You're just sitting, unwinding. But your brain is doing the opposite. Every scroll, every video, every notification keeps your mind slightly alert. It's subtle, but constant. Your brain is processing information, reacting emotionally, staying engaged. And that stimulation, even at low levels, can delay your transition into sleep mode. A real-life pattern most people don't notice. There's a pattern that shows up again and again. Someone struggles with sleep. They say, "I don't understand. I go to bed on time." But when you look closer, you realize their bedtime isn't actually when they start preparing for sleep. It's when they finally stop using their phone. And by that point, their brain has already been pushed into a more alert state. So sleep doesn't come easily. They toss, turn, check the time, maybe even pick the phone back up again, and the cycle continues. The timing mistake that makes it worse. The most critical window for your sleep isn't when you're lying in bed. It's the 60 to 90 minutes before that. That's when your body is supposed to lower stimulation, reduce light exposure, increase melatonin, prepare for deeper sleep cycles. But if that window is filled with screen use, you're essentially telling your brain, stay awake a little longer. And over time, this pattern can make sleep feel unpredictable and frustrating. What to do instead? Simple, realistic shift. Now, this doesn't mean you have to give up your phone or TV completely. The goal is not perfection, it's adjustment. Here's a simple approach that works for most people. Create a screen cutoff time, about 60 minutes before bed. Dim your lights to signal your body that night is approaching. If you must use a device, reduce brightness and use night mode. Replace screen time with something low stimulation, like reading a physical book, light stretching, listening to calm music or audio, or just sitting quietly and letting your mind slow down. These small shifts help your brain transition naturally into sleep mode without force. The key takeaway: it's not that screens are bad, it's that using them at the wrong time sends the wrong signal to your body. And when you change that timing, even slightly, you may notice something powerful. Sleep starts to feel more natural again. Let me share a story that might feel very close to home. A man in his early 60s had quietly been struggling with his sleep for months. Every night, he would lie in bed, tired, but unable to drift off. He'd check the time, 11:40, then 12:20, then 1:05. The more he tried to sleep, the more frustrated he became. And in the morning, he'd wake up feeling drained, carrying that fatigue into the rest of his day. He started to wonder if this was just how things were now. But when he looked closely at his evenings, he noticed something. Every night, he stayed on his phone in bed, scrolling, watching, passing time, telling himself he was just relaxing. So he made one small change. He stopped using his phone before bed and gave his mind time to slow down. At first, it felt strange, almost too quiet. But within days, he began falling asleep faster. Within weeks, his nights felt calmer, and his mornings, lighter. Sometimes, it's not a big fix, just a small shift at the right time. So how do you actually apply this in a simple, realistic way? Here's a straightforward routine you can start tonight. Step 1. Set a screen cutoff time. Pick a time about 60 minutes before bed where you stop using your phone, TV, or tablet. Think of this as your body's signal that the day is winding down. Step 2. Lower your light exposure. Dim the lights in your space. This helps your brain naturally begin releasing melatonin without force. Step 3. Replace the habit, not remove it. Instead of going straight from stimulation to silence, swap screen time for something calmer. A few pages of a book, light stretching, quiet music or audio, or simply sitting without distractions. The goal is to let your mind gradually slow down. Step 4. Keep your phone out of reach. If possible, avoid bringing your phone into bed. This removes the temptation to just check one more thing. Step 5. Stay consistent. You don't need perfection, just consistency. Even doing this most nights can help your body fall into a more natural rhythm. If you found this helpful, try this routine tonight and notice how your sleep feels over the next few days. And I'd love to hear from you. Do you usually use your phone right before bed? Type yes or no in the comments. If you want more simple, science-backed tips like this to improve your sleep and overall well-being, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. And if you know someone who struggles with sleep, share this video with them. It might make a real difference. See you in my next video.